Hello, this is Rebecca Gard. This is my final for RDG 3200. And the book I chose to discuss today is called My Family, Your Family by Lisa Bullard. This book starts us off with a character named Michaela, and her mother is going to have a baby. Michaela's a little nervous at the beginning because she's not sure. She knows the family will change and it's going to be different once the new baby comes. But her mom explains that different is good. Lots of families are different. And then her and her father, um, they go out and they explain find a different family and pick one good thing about them. This book goes ahead and acknowledges families of divorce, multicultural, single parents, divorced parents, um, and adopted orphan kids as well. So this book focuses a lot on inclusion, a lot of diversity. Representation is in this book. I would have loved to have taught this book with Azalea because there is a family in the book that is mentioned as multicultural and bilingual, and the family that is mentioned is Spanish speaking. So they do use some Spanish language to describe the family, such as they call their grandfather abuelo, which means grandfather in Spanish, and they translate it. Um, a couple places I would have liked to stop in the book are on that page for specifically Azalea, and also on the page that talks about divorce, just because unfortunately it's a very sensitive topic for a lot of people, and it's not talked about enough very much. Also, the book has a little bubble in the bottom corner to explain what it means when someone is divorced. But the topic I would like to talk about is the reason for divorce, such as, some people just lose feelings for each other, or maybe they can't afford to live together, or they don't get along, or stuff like that. A lot of kids, unfortunately, carry the guilt of feeling, well, is it my fault my parents got divorced? Or they feel that they are to blame for those circumstances. It's a heavy topic and it's not very much talked about. Um, as I mentioned, this book has a heavy emphasis on the different types of families, dynamics, family members, culture, and norms in their families. It also shows representation of LGBTQ families in a couple instances, one being a family with two women that are married, and a family of two men that are married and they adopted a child from another country. I would love to teach this book for those reasons, for all the representation, and mostly for the LGBTQ because there is a bit of an emphasis on those, and it's not very big topic in classrooms right now, unfortunately, um, because it gets a lot of backlash, and unfortunately, it's just not widely accepted as it should be. A family is a family, no matter where they come from, no matter how they celebrate, no matter how they live their lives. A family is a family, and I think that's an important lesson for students to learn is that of acceptance and recognizing those similarities and differences between themselves and others and other families. Um, there is a reason that I would not teach this, and it is because of the same reason I would teach it. This book covers topics that are not very widely talked about and can often, as mentioned, cause some backlash or maybe rub some people the wrong way or cause some emotions to come out that are not very good to have in a classroom. Um, but the backlash that can come from this can often affect the teacher and their reputation, fortunately, um, and just not always be widely accepted as it should be, these topics. This book does give representation to multiple different perspectives. As mentioned, bilingual families, multiracial families, like Michaela, since her father is a black man and her father is a white woman. Um, and just, again, parents of divorce, separation, and adoption. Um, So it gives a representation to every student of every kind of family dynamic. There is not a single family that I noticed in this book that was not included. And I do think that that is important to give students in a classroom that representation and that pride of that is my family. I feel a connection with a character in a book. The activity that I would love to do for this book is almost a family tree with potentially using real family images of their family and then giving a little description about them. So maybe what language do they speak? What country did they come from, if applicable? And maybe how often they see them, why they, what they like about that family member, and so on. And then that can also go into possibly a biological or a biology lesson of, family trees and how it goes down. Overall, I would love to teach this book. It is a good book on teaching representation and acceptance, and it does follow the social justice curriculum standards in multiple variety of ways. And all in all, a good book for children as it does explain these topics in a very simple and actually a very fun way, as the character Michaela is running around her neighborhood and pointing out different types of families and what she used to think and how her thinking changes. So, all in all, a very good book that I would love to teach and that follows these curriculum goals. And all in all, I would love to teach it. So, thank you.